Openly Beta.
Hello everyone, welcome to Openly Beta. I'm Jamie, and I'm going to be doing a full playthrough of Crash 2. And this is not the original Crash 2, this is the version in the Nsane trilogy. I've never played the Nsane trilogy before. This is my favourite of the Crash trio. I could have started from Crash 1 and worked my way all the way through all of them, but I'm not going to do that. So this new intro bit here is brand new. This definitely did not exist in the original. Oh. That's the one thing I will backtrack a little bit for, is extra lives, because there's nothing worse than running out of lives. Missed that. Yeah, that doesn't happen in the original. I don't really see the point. I guess it's like a really low risk starting area for people who are jumping straight to Crash 2 and never played Crash before. Don't know why you would do that.
Well,
Crash.
It isn't Crash Bandicoot.
Let's just... we don't need that. Let's go straight to Total Woods. Total Woods is always an interesting one for me, because this is a way more interesting first level to a Crash game compared to Crash 1. In fact, I think all of the Crash games actually have really strong first levels. Insanity Bay is pretty decent as far as first levels go. But like, you've got like sticky mud already, like rain everywhere. It's not like your happy, friendly first level. It's kind of a bit rough. You have pits of rats coming after you. All sorts of stuff in this. That's for that. These guys are brilliant. Oh, I forgot you can't skill on them. Oh, there you go. I'm gonna die soon. Ah, almost made it. So yeah, look at the animation on that. Oh, everything looks so much better. Everything's very crisp and shiny. It's weird. It's like, it's very strange. It's obviously so different, and yet it's like a lot of it feels like a brand new Crash game, right? But at the same time, it's obviously a one-to-one remake, so of course it's familiar, and it's more familiar than new because I played it so much. But man, you know, playing this makes me want to have a brand new Crash game. I will say, Openly Beta will definitely be doing a Crash Twinsanity playthrough at some point. I'm sure we've mentioned this in the podcast before, but we've had a go at trying to do a Crash Twinsanity playthrough in the past, and that was
Well done, Crash. I knew I could rely on you. Now listen carefully.
We did plan on doing a Crash Twinsanity playthrough a very long time ago. At the early days of Openly Beta, and because it was the early days, we were recording on my phone. The setup was horrendous, and so we basically lost about an hour and a half or so's worth of footage. We were gutted, and then after that, we just decided we decided we'd do it in the future, but none of us could be bothered to go back and just replay an hour and a half of Crash Twinsanity and just pretend that we hadn't just had to replay that. Sorry, I keep crashing into things. I'm not really doing very well here, am I? We couldn't just pretend that we hadn't just played it seconds before, and we were quite upset about it. But one day, I can't remember if they're the... Oh, this is wrong. Yeah, sad stuff. And there's a secret in one of those. Terrifying. No bonuses for me. Give me a life, come on.
What have we got?
Wait. Yeah, as I was saying, sorry, I got a bit distracted there. Things got a little bit hard. Crash Twinsanity is my favourite Crash game, and as much as I absolutely love the original trilogy, I do think they're really good games. Crash Twinsanity took the formula and took it to brand new places that has never been done ever again. Like, Crash was at its peak at Crash Twinsanity, and I feel like, I don't know if people really agree with that. Like, no one talks about Crash Twinsanity these days, but that was a really good game. Like, the boss fights were awesome. Everything about it was amazing. That was a great animation. It's kind of upsetting. So Activision are clearly going to make another Crash game, which I can't wait for, and I will obviously, you know, they know what they're doing, right? They've just made the Nsane trilogy. They know that what people want from Crash, not Mind Over Mutant. They want proper, right? So I mean, I know it's I was close. I know it's Vicarious Vision, it's published by Activision, but you know what I mean. I half trust them to do a good job, but at the same time, I'm finding this quite difficult to talk and play at the same time. This has actually proven to be quite an impressive feat for me. So, unnecessary little grooming at the end there. I know for a fact that it won't be like Crash Bandicoot, which is sad, and I'm not sure if that formula is ever going to return. But I'm just so excited by the potential of a proper, made from the ground up, modern Crash game. I just think that sounds so cool, and I've just been deprived of Crash for like such a long time, and although the remakes are obviously insanely cool that they exist, and I'm really glad they exist, it's not the same as having a brand new Crash, obviously. Like, the reason why I didn't just, you know, get the PlayStation 4 version was clearly not just because of the frame rate, it's also because I've played a lot of Crash, and I didn't really, if there was going to be a remake, I wanted it to be perfect. Oh, I just paused it on the stream, I'm sorry.
3 crystals.
And now, in my eyes, it wasn't perfect. This version is a perfect remake. I don't think you could ever ask for a better remake of Crash Bandicoot than this. I'm finding the recent trend of PlayStation 1 remakes really interesting, because you've got it's not medieval, it's like medieval, and you've got obviously Crash Spyro, and Resident Evil 2. These games, Final Fantasy VII, it's actually way more than I realised, and having now listed them off. They're all PlayStation 1 remakes, and what's really cool is that they've recognised that you can't remake these by, like, you know, giving them like a lick of paint, like redoing textures and stuff. PlayStation 1 games are rough in 2019, like really, really bad. They do not hold up at all. As in graphically, gameplay-wise, they do. Like, I think Crash is still perfectly fun. You know, rough around the edges, sure, but it's fine. But I mean, like, graphically, the games are properly bad. Final Fantasy VII, shocking now in today's standards. And yeah, I'm really glad that they're recognising that there's a lot of love for those games, that people want to see them and play them again. And they're putting the real effort in. Final Fantasy VII especially, like, whoa, what a completely new game. Obviously Resident Evil 2, again, basically a completely new game, redone completely from the ground up. Crash and Spyro are more one-to-one. Nothing wrong with that, I guess. I mean, well, okay, Link's Awakening is not a PlayStation 1 game, but, you know, Link's Awakening, that was another one-to-one remake. I played through the entirety of Crash 3 with my little brother, and we basically just blazed through the whole game in a couple of hours. It's great. It probably wasn't a couple of hours, it's probably way longer than that. That sounds a little bit too short. I'm not that good at games. Alright, I think this is the last level in this world, so I haven't been keeping track of time, but I think that was pretty quick, you know? Didn't die. Obviously, the first hub one was always going to be really easy just to blaze through. I'm a little bit less confident about the final levels where things ramp up in difficulty. Although, things don't get that much harder. Obviously, famous last words there, but I don't think they do. The game has this game, it's the easiest of the trilogy. No, it's not. I said that I've already made that mistake. It's just Crash Bandicoot 1. Crash Bandicoot 1 is a disgustingly hard game, and it's really unfair, and it's aged horribly. That's why I had no interest in going back to it. Nah. Yeah. Whereas Crash 2 is basically Crash Bandicoot 1, but with the perfect formula nailed down. And no ridiculous hub world map thing. I much prefer the system in Crash 2. It loses a little bit of personality, but they make up with it, like they explain why it's like that, so it's fine. Oh, I can do an Aku Aku mask. I mean, I suppose if I'm run over by the rock, then I'm dead anyway, aren't I? So maybe they can't have masks. I swear I had a mask, so I think it's quite a high possibility. Ooh, that was cheeky. Like, I totally did that jump. So that's just Crash Bandicoot physics. Feet physics. I heard about all that feet stuff in this game. Just got to do right to the edge, uncomfortably close to the edge of the pit. Oh no, I missed it. Oh, I'm not getting that. That wasn't the most elegant way of doing that, but there we go. That was the first boulder level. Obviously very excited for the polar bear pit. Oh, thanks for that, Crash. And finally, Rip Peru. That's weird, isn't it? It's kind of appeared out of nowhere. Before you had to go up on the platform. I prefer that. Rip Peru just looks like another level. The bosses are not lower levels. They're like really weird, kind of easy bits, but really fun and full of personality. Love the music. This boss is just annoying. I just feel like there's not a lot you can do if you get trapped in the corner. Plus, nothing happens on the upper part of the map. The ball, I should say. It's literally just the bottom. It's a weird one. I remember showing off to my friends on this level because I was able to just. I remembered where all the areas were, which obviously is not hard to do, but as a kid, that was very impressive for me. And yeah, you just memorise where he goes, and so you can just pretend that you're amazing and badass by barely moving at all the whole time and still finishing it. Okay, I know he goes to the bottom right. I just remember that for some reason. That's how much Crash I played. Got him. Imagine getting your head stuck in a stone slab like that. I'm amazed that you managed to get out. Give me more Ripperoo lore. Ripperoo is an underrated villain in Crash. Okay, that was a bit of an anticlimax, I think, but that was World 1. Thank you very much for watching. Join me in episode 2 where I try and conquer World 2 in a single episode. Have a lovely morning, evening or afternoon depending on the time zone you're in. This is Openly Beta. Sign out.